Hey everybody, today I want to talk about some tacos that I'm making, like a gluten-free version. And then I'm going to talk more specifically to people who still want some type of food that is something that is, easy, quick, but it can be used in multiple ways. I bought this for like $1 and something, and I have to have the gluten-free kind because if I eat gluten, it make me sick. Before people come in the comments with that, just show y'all what's on the back. I also have to stay away from like a lot of sugar. So this one has like date paste as the sweetener instead of like sugar and stuff, because even though we going through what we going through right now, we still gotta take care of our body and be able to perform and get up and still be able to go to work and stuff. So made that, but what I really want to talk about is how to stretch your hamburger meat. I only got 1 pound, so the meat was really the most expensive thing. I added a can of this into it, and I'm letting it cook, and I'm also just letting the spices. But you can stretch it using like corn in the beef, black beans. You can use pinto beans, or you can make pinto beans on the side. You can refry them, like grind them up in the blender and put some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder, and like some chili powder in there, and make refried beans at home for a Mexican night for you and your kids. Right now it's just cooking. And then instead of the regular taco shell, this time I got a tostada shell, just a flat one, and lay it on top like that. I also have some arugula. This arugula cost me $2.98. You know, just stuff because I had box on there. I had pecan shells on my table and got on there. But arugula, this cost me 79 cents. These were like 3 for like maybe $1.28. Then this was like $3 and something. It might have been 2, but I got all this at Walmart. I'm gonna have that for me and my son. But I always try to stretch it to make more than one meal, because if you only got 1 pound of ground beef, right now you don't want to be buying things that cost $13 for one, like a big pack or whatever. You want to try to stretch things. So I just really wanted to get on and just encourage people to stay prayed up. And also I want to encourage them on ways that we can still feed our families. But yes, back to our meal here. I'm planning on putting some black beans. If I got some in the cabinet, I used some the other day in soup. But just cooking this, and then you want to make sure it's completely cooked. I know we got young mothers out here. They trying their first time going through something like this. I was born in the '90s, so I remember things like this that happened before. So it just, there's people that's never went through this. So, and we gotta give them grace. But you cut all of that up, then you put the taco seasoning in once it's cooked. You can also stir the beans in once it's cooked. If you don't have a lot of beans, I'm going to show you something else you can put in there. All you trying to do is thicken this up with mushrooms. I know everybody don't eat mushrooms, but these were like $1.20 something a can at Walmart, peel top. Just drop, pour the water out. No sugar. Make sure y'all start checking label. I know we under strain right now, but still need to check your labels. Don't just buy stuff for the sake of having food. Stay healthy. You still gotta do that. You can stir that in there. You also can use some corn. I showed y'all the corn. You can either use pinto beans or great northern beans, or you can use black beans. I have some kidney beans up there too. You can even put kidney. So what kidney beans are, for those who don't know, is red beans. The ones made red beans and rice. You want to use the can if you're cooking it like this because it's going to happen fast. Now, if you got time and you boil some kidney beans and made red beans and rice like a couple days ago, and you want to reuse that, because we need to get back to that too, reusing what we cooked already. You can take what you already cooked and pour it in here and stir it up with this meat and stuff, and it'll make a good feeling taco for you and your kids. So y'all do that. Also, real quick, want to talk to y'all about I really feel for people right now. I really do. It's been on my heart for a long time, about working together. We gotta start doing that. We gotta start taking care of each other better than what we're doing. This new generation, they teaching all the things online about narcissism and hate and bickering and arguing. If you don't like somebody, cut them off and all of that. But I'm gonna tell you something. We ain't gonna make it like that. Now, we gotta be real. We gotta be realistic. We gotta start looking out for one another. We need to go back to, I remember the days, early 2000s. We used to do little cookouts in the hood. We call them what they call them now? Hangouts. Everybody have a barbecue grill. They had a little meat on there. Some people bring potato salad, whatever. But it's right there in our apartment complex. Now, I don't stay in an apartment complex anymore. But we did have a couple of those before I moved. And I'm going to tell you, if you're living in an apartment complex, or what we call the PJs, the project, ain't nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you something. Y'all got community right there. We just need to start sticking together instead of fighting each other, bickering and arguing. You know how many people could take $1 or $2, go buy, somebody buy the meat, somebody buy, some canned, what do you call those things, baked beans in the can. Get 4, 5, 6 of them cans of baked beans. Somebody get some buns. Get hamburger and hot dog bun. Ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. Somebody buy some onions. And if 20 people get together and do that, we used to be able to feed the whole project, the old people and all. The boys that go and work off and then they come back, they have a little extra cash. They get, we helped. They buy the plates and stuff. We hand stuff out. But we never let something like this get us down. We always came back from it. We always rose up to the occasion. Take care of those who couldn't take care of themselves. And that's, if I can't encourage nobody with nothing else, we need to do that. Also, if you can't afford meat, I kind of got another solution. Some of my vegan friends online, I've seen them grinding up, they'll boil pecans or some kind of nut, like almonds or whatever, grind it up in a blender. So like this, blender. And then they season the meat like they would season this meat, because it's basically meat without coming from an animal. And it still tastes the same. You cook it, grind it up, and it kind of skipped this step of having to cook it till it get done, because there's nuts and stuff already cooked. But still being able to make tacos and, things like that out of it. Grind up, make your own vegan hamburger patty out of it. And it actually tastes like this, and it's cheaper. If they raise meat any higher, just say I'm just throwing some tips out there. We're going to make it, y'all. It's going to be rough, but we're going to make it. Don't give up hope. I know it's that time of the year. I've been worried about that with my friends and people out here. We don't know what people are going through. Let's be nice to folks. I know we might hate each other's guts, but right now, let's get through this, and then we can get back to fighting and kicking and hollering and stuff. But we need to take care of each other right now. Well, Also, just I feel for there are good working people. It's hard out here to find a job right now. I work right now, and I've been looking for another job probably for 11 months. So I have had a job that's part time, still working, school, all of that. Give people grace. People are trying to find jobs, trust me. This job market is crazy. I get calls from jobs that I put in like 6 months ago when I was in a different predicament. And I had a babysitter and I was able to do those things. And now the job will call, but I no longer had a babysitter. Or things have changed with my college schedule and I'm unable to go to that job. So, it is hard on folks. We got to be very mindful of how we speaking. This thing, though, it is a blessing in disguise. It's going to teach us how to come together again. It's going to teach us how to work well with others. God ain't going to never allow something to happen without it being a blessing. Some kind of way in there or some kind of lesson he wants us to learn. I know it's rough, though. We done got dependent on not having to stick together, not having to help each other, and just this my house versus your house, this and versus that. But God created us in community and unity, and we got to stick together. Them folks up there don't give a damn about us. And y'all know that. We got folk lying out here. We got people saying different things. I wouldn't even fall for it. It's hard not to. But you gotta be strong, but not too strong. We want you having a stroke out here. We want you to be strong in spirit. And we want you to prosper. And I want you to know that God's still in control of everything going on out here. Even though he didn't start this stuff, God didn't start it. They did. Man did. That man up there did that. But God got to finally say so, even of his last breath. So don't never let nobody put fear in your heart. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.